if you want to get to a destination quickly, much more important than the speed with which you're walking is whether you're walking in the right direction. And that, I think, explains the almost strange insistence that Abraham had that Isaac should never go back to the land from which Abraham emigrated. And I think it's not because there's anything intrinsically wrong with that land. It was still a good place where Rebecca and many others were able to live in peace and have everything they needed. And chances are that there would have been plenty of food and safety and all the other good things for Isaac there as well. But Abraham knew that that wasn't where Isaac was meant to be. That God was calling him to be there in the chosen land, the land promised to him and his descendants. That's where God's plan required him to be. And we see a similar insight with St. Matthew. This rich and powerful tax collector who hears Jesus speak and then seemingly without a second thought drops everything and follows him. Leaves his job, leaves his money, leaves all the things that he spent so much time and effort to obtain, but now seemed unimportant to him because he knew that Jesus was calling him to something much greater, a life of discipleship. And I think it's so important for us to recognize that too. God is calling each one of us to something. He's calling each one of us somewhere. It's a matter of discovering it and making sure that we are heading in that direction. That's not to say that we should ignore our past, that we should never even glance behind us. But we have to recognize that the past is something to be learned from, something to build upon and grow from. But we can't live there. We can't go back there. We are called to be followers of Jesus Christ. And that means we're called to be saints. We're called to be great. That means we have to keep looking forward. Keep trying to discover where the Lord wants us to be, where the graces and the joys of the future are meant to be. And we need to be moving in that direction. Always moving forward, always trying to grow more, trying to take that next step, trying to become a little bit holier, a little bit braver, a little bit kinder, a little bit better. Whatever it is that God is calling us to, that's what we need to focus on. So let's make sure that we're never so caught up with what happened before that we feel the need to try to live there, to try to go back into the past, relive it, refight it. God has a plan for us. And we need to focus on moving forward along that path.